Hello everybody. Right, I've had this question. It came in from Knack recently, but more than that, a guy called Jamie Ritchie. I'm kind of overdue your video, mate. I do apologise. And it's, what do I think to what I refer to as Uncle Alberts? And this comes from Jamie, who's a truck driver, been a truck driver for 30 years. And the term Uncle Albert came about when I was in the Luton, when I used to work in the Luton with a tail, and I'd get to places like BMW, and I'd see these guys sort of rock up in these little vans, you know, like they look like cars. A small van is technically a car, in my opinion. There's a short wheelbase, which is one of them little vans that's 1.2 metres. But you get the ones, I don't know what you call them, like the Kangos and all that kind of stuff. And it really is kind of car-sized, but it's a van because it's actually got a bulkhead and it's metalled out. So it's a proper van, it's a commercial vehicle, but it's really not designed to carry anything particularly heavy. It's just to carry bits and pieces. And you'd see them roll up at BMW and they get out, and they'd pick up like parts, might be 2 boxes, you know, like the kind of an Apple box, that kind of thing, and maybe one of them had to go to Oxford and one of them had to go to sort of Aylesbury or something like that. And I used to look at them, and you know, they weren't particularly early. They'd roll in about 10 o'clock in the morning, and they sort of knew everybody, and they'd sort of have a little chat and you know, talk to the people in the, have a little smile, talk to the people in stores, and then they'd grab their boxes and off they'd go. The reason they got christened Uncle Alberts is because they looked like Uncle Albert. Apples and horses kind of had that sort of seaman's cap and had the big white beard. Mine's come in. He's like, all right, son. Yeah, hello, son. Yeah, just come to pick up a couple of boxes. One for Oxford, one for Aylesbury. Yeah. And what do I think about them? I like them. They make me smile. I don't think you're ever going to get rich. Being an Uncle Albert, you're never going to be a millionaire. You need to be a Del Boy for that. God bless them. But I think maybe you get to the stage in life, so, and this is coming from the guy who says, and it depends which way around you want to do it. See, I did mine the wrong way round. Most of these people that I talk about, a lot of people that talk the channel, have been courier drivers all their life. They've been lorry drivers all their life, hence the reason they know an awful lot more than me, and hence the reason we have the Sunday Q&A, and I get to ask them the questions that I don't know, which is mainly all of them. But you get to the point where you've been doing it since you're a kid, and you've been doing it for like 30, 40 years, and you think, I'm sick to the back teeth of this, I'm sick to the big rigs, I'm sick with the regulations, I'm sick with sitting in the cages, I'm sick with, you know, getting on the naughty step because I got to the distribution centre 5 minutes late and now I've got to wait 4 hours to get tipped. And you just crave to be somebody. I like the driving. I like the life on the road. I've got to that point in my life where I've made enough money and I don't want life to be complicated anymore, but also I can't just retire. I don't like fishing, I hate golf, and if I stay at home all day the wife's going to scream at me. So you kind of need something, and also maybe just for a bit of pocket money. You kind of think, well, maybe I've got that stage of life where I've got enough money I could get by, but it would be nice to get by a night, you know, but get the odd holiday. You know, treat the grandkids, take them down to Walton Towers, that kind of thing. So I think you can potentially get to that point where you don't want too much, and all you want to do is just something to run around, maybe start work 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe back by about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, nick yourself a few quid. Like I say, you ain't never going to be a millionaire, but you're out on the road, you get to know people, it's not aggravating, you know, easy to park, easy to manoeuvre, that kind of stuff. And I think it could be the life for you. It could be like the kind of like the decompression, the wind down years. I've been going, lorries. I've been international. I can't do international. Now I'm doing national. I'm doing national now, but I'm not staying out of a night time. I'm doing national, but I'm at my bed every night. And then maybe the gap between that and, you know, finishing completely is, I'm just going to get myself a little van and drive around. But one thing I will say also about the Uncle Alberts is it's not dear. You're a sole trader. You don't need any fancy schmancy stuff on a CX. You don't need fleet. You don't need this. You don't need that. You're some sole trader, just me and a van. And all I want to do is run around, do the odd job here and there. And the advantage, I suppose, with the CX over just going with a local courier firm, could be an advantage, could be a disadvantage. On a little local courier firm, it's like I know exactly where I pretty much know where I'm going. I know the places, I know the people. It's no aggravation, but it's getting a bit boring. I'm doing the same thing over and over again. If you do it on a CX, and bearing in mind, you can pick your jobs. You might say to the missus, actually, I picked a job up tomorrow. I'm going to Aberdeen. There was a guy when we used to run that ill place thing that I did where we were going to try and sort of subcontract out the drivers. One guy He worked on a small van. He came out of Wembley, and he would take a job to like Glasgow, Edinburgh, or Aberdeen, stay overnight. I don't know how he done it, and then the next day he would find a job coming back from Glasgow, Edinburgh, or Aberdeen down to London. Sometimes he would basically drive there, drop it off, drive back. You know, stop for 2 or 3 hours to get his head down so he was safe, and that's all he'd do a week. But he was pulling in more money than a lot of the drivers were in like 2 days because they were big long jobs, and he would just do that, and I'm done. So I think the thing is, there is a place for Uncle Albert's. There is also a place for small van. If you're clever about it, you can make money in a small van. I always say the bigger the better, hence the reason I'm into lorries. But what do I think of Uncle Albert's? I wouldn't write it off. Who knows? I ain't getting any younger, and maybe there is a time where I have to say to Alice, Alice, sorry my love, but I've decided I'm going to jump out. I'm just going to leave it all behind, jump myself in a little van, and off I pop. Watch your space. See how it goes. Hope, you know, that's it. That's what my thoughts are. Curious to know what your thoughts are. We're doing one on a Sunday Q&A, and in the meantime, waiting for me load to... Well, I'm here. I've been here a little while. I got here really early. I'm waiting for the guys to turn up and ratify it before I can go, but I don't mind, so I'm happy. But in the meantime, you guys, take care. Take money.